James E. Lynch. Enlisted November the 4th, 1941. Discharged September the 15th, 1945. I was in the U.S. Navy in the Armed Division of the Navy in the Armed Guard. Was promoted to a gunner's mate first class with a recommendation for chief gunner's mate. I enlisted. I was only 18. 17. Excuse me, corrected. 17.
Why did you join?
Because that was the thing to do at that particular time. All the young men were being drafted or joined the Navy voluntarily. Joined the Army.
Why did you pick the service branch you joined?
I just think I wanted to go to sea, serve on board ships more so than on land.
Do you recall your first days in the service?
Well, boot camp at Norfolk, Virginia. That's the naval base at NOB, what they call NOB, Norfolk. Then that's when I was transferred to the gunnery division at Little Creek. And that was a school to teach us to use ship-mounted guns for the armed guard.
What did it feel like?
Well, I don't know. I think I was very proud to be in the Navy and to be in that gunnery division.
What was your job or assignment?
To take care of the arms, guns that were mounted on board the ship, and that's all. And operate them.
You tell the story about the woman in the mask?
Beg your pardon?
The woman you tried to unmask. Can you tell that story?
That was in Cape Town, South Africa. We were tied up inside the harbor down there, and a couple of us got all the women who were of a different creed or belief than we were, like Americans. They wore masks over the faces. And we wanted to see what one of the women looked like. So we stood on the street and stepped back into the bar to the door. One lady come by, and it was up to me to take the mask off her face. And when she came by, I stepped out and started to remove the mask, and she screamed. And before we knew it, there was at least a half a dozen armed men come chasing us. We went all the way to the dock and had to swim back to get aboard our ship. And that was the end of that. My time had just about run out, and I was sent on a hospital ship, which was the only means of transportation at that time. And I was sent back to San Diego via Honolulu to San Diego, and I had much more than got on into San Diego when my discharge came, and I came straight from there home.
You actually manned the gun on the ship?
Oh yeah, I was a gunner's mate. I manned I was the head man. I had crews that worked under me, just.
And what were you firing at?
What were we firing at?
Like airplanes or the...
We were firing at airplanes, yeah. And we fired at a couple of ships, but we wasn't all that. We didn't get into that much combat. I think if this country needs it, I volunteered, and I think every young person capable of being of service to this country ought to volunteer likewise and help out, because you're helping your fellow man, and you're doing what I think the good Lord intended you to do. Made me more independent. I've had some close calls that if I hadn't had the independence, I probably wouldn't have made it today. I've traveled an awful lot. It's a blessing and a miracle that my girlfriend has put up with me all these years, because she's almost been by herself. I love to travel. My Navy experience didn't satisfy me completely, because I like to be constructive, and that's about all of it. I'm 85, will be next birthday, and I'm not going to do much more. I think I've fulfilled the Lord's requirements of me pretty well. Try to be a Christian in the Baptist organization, Baptist Church, Rocky Knoll Baptist Church, and in fact I went there this morning. I try to live as good a life as I can. Now I'm talking about mentally, physically, and all. I try to be a credit to the human race. That's all I can say. I don't try to get anything, no perfection for myself. I just want to love my wife, and I'm thankful to God for her, because I've been with her ever since we were teenagers. And I could go to sleep tomorrow and I'd be perfectly satisfied. Now I know I've lived a full life. Most people don't get an opportunity to live as full a life as I've had. Of course, United Nations, the war, the world situation caused a lot of that. It caused it to be necessity, to be a necessity of my life. But I don't regret it. I wish I could have stayed more of my life with her, but I guess I feel like my duty comes first.